that lost loved ones. And I know we talk about Kobe because he was the recognizable face and his young daughter, Gigi. But there are a lot of grieving families that lost loved ones in this process, and they're grieving, and they would like to celebrate the lives of their loved ones. So let's make sure that when we fall on our knees and we pray, and we keep those families in mind as well. For me, Skip, with Kobe, it still doesn't seem real. I knew what Kobe was in the basketball community. Skip, I did not know Kobe was this big. If you think about when guys do anything, play golf, you see golfers come out there with the Kobe jerseys on. Yep. You see tennis players come out there with jerseys on. You see football players with the cleats on. Mamba mentality, business world. You move from just being a basketball player, you move to being an icon that transcends sports. Skip, rap, you know, I saw a thing the other day, is talking about players that's mentioned most in rap. Kobe is number one, and Michael Jordan is a distant second. That goes to show you how people, what they thought of him.
Yep.
Like I said, I was DMing him a month to the day that happened. Because I had just saw him earlier that year, Skip, at the Icon Awards, and he was just talking, and he just seemed so at peace. I'm like, bro, you don't miss it. He's like, Sharpe, I put everything into that. He said, I don't miss not one day. I get an opportunity. He said, that was my passion for 20 years. Writing now, he won an Oscar for his play, his short story. I think it's what it's called, a short story.
Dear Basketball.
Dear Basketball. And he says, I just want to, be there with my family, raise the girls, got, Gigi's talked about. And he just seemed so at peace. I wasn't around Kobe much, Skip. I got an opportunity to see him play, went back in the locker room and talked to him. But he seemed at peace. He seemed at ease with where he was in his life. And but like Vanessa said, celebrate that. What happened on that fateful Sunday morning and the foggy Sunday morning on that mountainside, we all wish that would have never happened. But I'm going to remember him dropping 81 on Toronto. I'm going to remember him dropping 60 in his last game. I'm going to remember him dropping 62 in 3/4 against the Mavericks.
Yep. I'm
going to remember the virtuoso performances in the big games when you needed Kobe Bryant. And like I said, he's the closest thing that I've ever seen to Michael Jordan. And I don't know if we'll ever see someone like Mike and like Kobe again. Kobe was fun to watch. He didn't cheat you. You knew exactly what you're going to get from Kobe Bryant. Every single thing he got. He didn't cheat the process. So for me, Skip, although it's sad and I still don't believe it, and sometimes I go in my DM and I just look at the message, I'm like, bro, I can't believe this happened. But Kobe is, I don't know, Skip, there are certain people that transcend a particular sport. Ali did that. People quote, Skip, Kobe is in that stature as far as iconic in his play and how people revere him. Skip, like I said, I knew how big he was in basketball. I knew that. But the world mourned his passing. It tells you everything you need to know about this young man.
So for me, it seems like yesterday that you and I were at our hotel in South Beach, Miami, getting ready for Monday of Super Bowl week, when this hit like a million tons of bricks. And I remember that afternoon seeing trending, not Kobe. And now a year later, I'm still right there where I was.
Yeah.
Not Kobe. It's impossible.
Right.
Kobe, when it dawned on me a couple of days back, we're coming up on a year, I had to stop and think, wait a second. He's really gone? He was invincible on and off the court. He was a dynamo in his career in basketball and in his second career.
Yes.
He won the Academy Award already.
An Oscar.
An Oscar. What? That's impossibly great. Of all the icons, of all the figures, not Kobe.
Right.
And now we live here on the west side of Los Angeles, and I can't tell you how many times I'm drawn back into what happened to Kobe because you often see during the day helicopters buzz over here on the west side of LA on the way to LAX, which is not too far from here where we are, the Fox studios.
Right.
And every time I see a helicopter now, you know what I think about.
Right.
When I'm driving into the studio around 4 o'clock in the morning and it's foggy here, which it often is, not like San Francisco foggy, but we get our periods of fog early morning. You know what I think of right away? I think of Kobe. Oh, because it was a really foggy morning as they tried to take the helicopter up north of here.
To Gigi's game.
Yep. So for me, usually after someone passes, time will slowly heal your wound. Your pain and your grief, really your agony over losing him or her, it will heal. But to me, it feels like even 1 year later, I haven't even begun to heal yet.
The wound is still fresh, Skip, and that's what I tell people. People are like, well, we know how close you were with your grandmother. How did you get over it? I say when a death and someone is that close to you, you don't get over it. You learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
You don't get over that. Vanessa's not going to get over this. She'll get better as time and time. She'll get better of coping. Gigi losing, and man, look, man, that girl she was a spitting image of Kobe. She wanted to be her dad. I mean, you know, if Kobe had a son, it would have been Gigi. Gigi would have been George or whatever she'd have named it. Maybe Kobe Jr.
Yep.
Because she was it. I mean, it was just something. It was something about that relationship. And he says, "Girl, dad," and you know that was trending at one point in time. And you see her at the games when Kobe was starting coming back to Staples. She was right next to him, on his shoulders as a little baby girl. It was Gigi. And to have, man, that just, like I said, Skip, it doesn't even seem real. I mean, I go back, I was like, man, you know what? And I remember going to bed that night, I was like, man, let this be a mistake. Because at first, when it first happened, and you and I were in the lobby checking in, I was like, well, maybe it's one of those things where they say somebody passed and it was a joke, a prank or something. And then you started hearing it, and I'm just saying to myself, and I'm going to my bed, I said, please, Lord, don't let this be true.
Yep.
And then more and more, I was like, it's just...
To underscore the magnitude of this man's passing, Monday of Super Bowl week in Miami, Kobe Bryant transcended the Super Bowl.
Yes.
He basically shut down Super Bowl week.
Yes, there was no talk about the Super Bowl on Monday.
No, because we had a lot of fans come out and watch us that Monday.
Right.
And just about
8:24, 8:24, 8:24.
And that's all we talked about because that's all we should have talked about.
Right. But like I said, Skip, it was just that when you can cross over sports, and soccer players wear your jersey, golfers have on your jersey, tennis players, football players, and all the talk, you reach that iconic status. And that's what Kobe Bryant was. Like I said, not only America, the world mourned. You see overseas, you see China, you see Thailand, you see Japan, you see all these other, you see Europe. It's like, and I'm like, Kobe did that? Kobe did that?
He did that. And God rest his soul.
Yep.
Whew, I keep remembering those conversations too, guys, that we had with fans at the Super Bowl and just how he impacted so many. It still doesn't feel real. I love thinking of Kobe and how much pride he took at coaching his girls. And you know what? Kobe, Gigi, forever in our hearts. That Mamba mentality lives on. And Vanessa, we're thinking about you and your family today.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.